Hey guys, Dynamite results are in, and AEW big predictions coming your way as well. We had a mixed tag team matchup take place, and another Collision announcement was also set for the show. Starting us off in this episode, we saw a trios matchup starting us off with Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta taking on the Lucha Brothers and Bandito. Was a hot start to the show that was action-packed and specifically showcased Wheeler Yuta for the second show in a row. First getting the pin in the main event of Double or Nothing and getting his hand raised tonight. It was a good opening contest here. Alex Marvez was backstage with the Young Bucks and Hangman Page, asking how they're feeling after Anarchy in the arena. Jackson said the BCC brought out the worst in them, as he never thought he'd see the day he tried to burn off someone's face with an exploding sneaker. Page said they're still standing and still swinging while the BCC relies on the numbers game. Evil Uno entered in with Alex Reynolds and John Silver, who apologized for interrupting him. Page said Page was going to go after them, but Marvez asked Page's thoughts on the word of Omega going back to Canada. Adam Page said Omega didn't go back home to Canada. They're definitely implying here Omega has presumably gone to Japan to get back up for the Elite. Tony Schiavone then introduced Bullet Club Gold's Jay White and Juice Robinson to the ring, asking about the attack of Ricky Starks backstage at Double or Nothing. White says he bets Starks feels on top of the world, having eliminated both of them from the Battle Royal, but Starks isn't international champion and he lost to Jay White. Juice Robinson brings up FTR saving Bucks from their attack, and FTR aren't Starks' friends because Ricky has no friends. White ran down FTR until the actual AEW champions made their way to the ring. White and Robinson hid behind Schiavone as they believe FTR are there to apologize to them and calling them top shelf top guys. White went to hand the microphone to Harwood, but dropped it, allowing Robinson to pop Harwood with a handful of quarters and hit his finisher. Jay White laid out Cash Wheeler with Blade Runner before bailing as Ricky Starks made the save. Starks challenged White to finally put an end to this next week on Dynamite. Tony Khan then had his Collision announcement, with Khan being backstage, and said tonight's announcement is about the debut edition of Collision, which will feature CM Punk. This was very mixed emotions on this. Trent Beretta, Big Bill, and Swerve Strickland had a three-way. I enjoyed this three-way quite a bit. Everyone got a chance to have their moments, and it shined well. The finish would presumably lead one to believe Strickland is next in line, though that wasn't said so far. Swerve Strickland ultimately defeated Big Bill and Trent Beretta. He won by pinning Trent. A video package highlighting Chris Statlander's road to recovery is shown, culminating in winning the TBS title at Double or Nothing as she is officially the one in Jade Cargill's 61 record. Renee Paquette welcomed the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn to the entrance stage. Things didn't go their way at Double or Nothing when they lost to the House of Black. Billy Gunn said he feels like he let the Acclaim down. Caster said they win together and they lose together, and that they're still the people's choice. Anthony Bowen said a few months ago they were screwed out of their tag team gold, and said Billy Gunn deserves to hold gold one more time in his career. The Acclaimed loves him, and everyone loves the Acclaimed. Don Callis and Konosuke Takeshita came out as well, which they had a lot to say. Don Callis blamed the scar on Omega and said while Callis lost a nephew, he gained a son in Takeshita, who is better than Rikidozan, Inoki, Maeda, Muto, and Okada. Takeshita will also show soon he's better than Kenny Omega. Konosuke took the microphone and said they will destroy the Elite and Kenny Omega. Don Callis said Kenny destroyed his family, so he's going to build a new one to eliminate the Elite from All Elite Wrestling. We see a highlight video of the TNT ladder match with Wardlow retaining over Cage. Arn Anderson talks about biting Luchasaurus's thumb, while Wardlow said Luchasaurus found out not to get involved in their business, but will be more than happy to finish the job if Luchasaurus wants to be next in line. Then we had a tag team matchup take place between the Gates of Agony and Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. Well, you could say that Darby and Cassidy are still suffering from their matches at Double or Nothing, as they got beat for at least 90% of the match. The wheels fell off for Gates of Agony, though, as Cassidy and Allin showed good teamwork once again to get the victory. The post-match was certainly setting up Cassidy and Strickland, but I wonder if Sting and Allin will potentially face Khan and Toa Leona. Anyway, post-match, Brian Cage, Swerve Strickland, and Prince Nana slowly walked to the ring and were about to attack when Sting's music hit and the Icon made his way to the ring. The Mogul Embassy retreated, but Strickland never took his eyes off the international title. Then a highlight video was shown of MJF successfully defending the world title at Double or Nothing. MJF said the clock is ticking and AEW is running out of competition. They are running out of gladiators for MJF to slay, as it's been made clear that no one is on the level of the devil. One thing I want to say is that Tony Schiavone deserves an MVP award for tonight, because he's been out here in the ring for a lot of these segments, as he is once again in the ring and introducing Hook. Schiavone talked about Hook helping the Hardys win on Sunday to give Matt Hardy the contract to Ethan Page. Before Hook can say what was next, La Faction and Gobernable interrupt, as Jose, the assistant, said this is what they have to do to get an opportunity. Roosh is too dangerous to be on TV and isn't there tonight, but tells Preston Vance and Dralistico to attack Hook, which they did. Jungle Boy then crashed to make the save and took out both Preston Vance and Dralistico on the ramp with a chair, while Jose retreated to the ring where he was met with a suplex from Hook. Jungle Hook stood tall as Vance and Dralistico stared them down from the ramp. Not a big fan of Jungle Hook coming back, but let's just see how this goes. Renee Paquette is backstage with the new women's world champion, Toni Storm, with her Outcast mates, Saraya and Ruby Soho. Toni Storm said luck had nothing to do with her title win on Sunday, as she's traveled all over the world to get to this point. Soho praised Storm's work ethic, while Saraya did the same, and Storm said the only ones lucky are the AEW fans. And Nyla Rose took on Chris Statlander in an open challenge match for the TBS Championship. This was Chris Statlander's first match on Dynamite since January, as she nearly body slammed Rose early, but dodged a Nyla senton and sank in a body scissors. Nyla got the ropes and both ladies fought for suplex attempts. And ultimately, later on in the match, Taya Valkyrie in the back didn't seem very impressed with Chris Statlander retaining the TBS Championship. And then finally, for the main event, Adam Cole and Britt Baker took on Chris Jericho and Saraya. It was a decent main event. I was surprised at the finish of Jericho taking another loss to Adam Cole in 4 days. You'd have to assume this feud's almost wrapped, and both start up builds for Forbidden Door, which as a show did not get built up at all tonight. Hopefully after Dominion this weekend that changes. But ultimately, good show, especially with not having very many matches announced out of the blue, or with having a bunch of matches announced out of the blue. It was a good show. They delivered. Rampage predictions coming in. Alright, and now it's time for Rampage predictions. As this time around is a championship fight night, it seems. Katsuyori Shibata will defend his ROH Peer title against Lee Moriarty, which I see Shibata retaining. This is also going to be in a Peer Rules match. Willow Nightingale puts the strong NJPW Strong Women's Championship on the line against Emi Sakura. Willow will most likely retain here. El Hijo del Vikingo defends the AAA Mega Championship against Commander Andralistico in triple threat action. Vikingo will most likely retain there. Zack Sabre Jr. will also defend the NJPW TV title against Action Andretti, with Sabre Jr. most likely retaining here as well. But there you guys go. That was it for Rampage predictions and Dynamite results. And as somebody who misses Kenny Omega, which we'll probably see next week, honestly, or in 2 weeks, goodbye and good night without any further ado.